This video is going to show you how to reinstall the left-hand fairing on a Ducati Supersport 950. The first thing to do is, if we see our socket there on the back of the fuel tank there, what we're going to do is slide this lug in. We've engaged the lug into the socket on the fuel tank. So what we're going to do now is come around the front of the bike, and then we need to do the same at the front, and we need to engage the lug into the socket on the fairing. So what we're going to do is just going to be sliding that on. We'll glide it on with our fingers, and we can just slide that on into place. Once we've engaged that part of the fairing, we can now move up and up under the headlights. Now this is where we need to engage these lugs into the sockets under the headlights. So there's two parts here that we need to do that to. So we just align those in and we can push those into place like that. Push around, make sure it's all engaged nicely. Make sure the fairing's all sitting nicely before we install any screws. The first screws I'm going to reinstall are just the ones that hold the two sides together. One, and then two screws installed underneath the fairing. I'm going to install the screw that sits in front of the side stand, and that's this screw here. It's got the silver metal bush around it. Next screw to install is going to be this one here, just above the water pump. That's that type of screw there. Alright, I'm going to install the next screw up now. Same type of screw as the one we just installed above the water pump. Now we're going to install the screw that's just up to the side of the frame of the fuel tank. Around the front of the bike now we've got two screws to install. The lower one's going to be this silver one with a nylon washer. So it's going to go in there. And then we've got this screw here, which we'll install up there. Coming in now from the top of the bike, on the handlebars there, we've now got these screws here that we need to install, which are these two here. So we've got the fairing itself now refitted. The last piece we now need to refit is this plastic infill panel, held in with a couple of screws here. At the front it just slides in to these retainers here, and then also along the side there's a couple of retainers as well that it fits into. Okay, with this piece here we can see there's a couple of slots at the front there we need to fit into. And there's also a couple of slots in the fairing here that we need to fit into. So we'll fit into there. Okay, so we've slid this panel here into place. Tabs are engaged, and we're going to be putting in this screw here in first, which is going to be the shortest one. Last screw now, we're going to be fitting into here, which is going to be a long one. This screw here does fit into a rubber grommet, so it doesn't need to be very tight at all. Okay, that's it. Fairing's been reinstalled. Last thing to do now, have a bit of a check, make sure it all fits well, give everything a bit of a wipe down.